Yes, there we go. Hey, everybody, we're live. The button worked. Worked. Some of my buttons were not working earlier, but this one worked. So, and Zuzana, you're there. I'm here. Chat's there. We're all here. Hey, everybody. Hey, Zuzana.
Hiya. How you doing?
I am doing. I was telling you just before this started. I'm doing adjusting back from being off for a week. So lots of emails, lots of coffee. How are you doing?
I'm all good, thank you.
Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our screen and take a look. Hey, everybody in the chat. Thanks for coming to hang out with us, especially since I only told you all 15 minutes ago. Sorry, my fault. I promise to do better. So here's what we're working on. So I grabbed the notes from last time and at least said, well, that's what we're going to start with. And one of the things that turns out happened was Zuzana actually did one of the tasks from last time and made a pull request from it. So first thing we're going to do is look over that pull request and get it involved. But for anybody who hasn't come to any of these before, we are building a Laravel app from scratch to allow you to show your family tree using Neo4j. Zuzana and I are doing it together. So I have more experience with Laravel than she does. She is the product owner with the idea for the thing. And she is now doing regularly thinking and reading on Neo4j, which is not a promise that she's an expert, but it's just that she's doing more work between streams than I am. So hopefully she's also a little bit of a subject matter expert relative to me in Neo4j. So there's a little bit of kind of both of us learning, and that's what we're doing here together. So first thing we're going to do is work through this pull request, and then we'll see if we can figure out building out the rest of the user interface. So what we did last time was we started building out the ability to tie your Eloquent objects and your Neo4j entities, right? Did we finish that last time?
No, I think you only have a DD.
Okay.
DD a person, you kill a person and spit them onto a page.
So we're not there yet. We made some early steps on that, but didn't quite get there. So we'll probably finish that, right? Hooking the user interface together with the that, and then making sure that the Eloquent and the Neo4j are synchronized with each other.
Yeah.
So before I review it, could you tell the people what's going on in this pull request?
As I told you before we started, if I had known you were going to do it live, I would have done a much better job.
It's very unfair of me.
Yeah. So all I did, I just wanted to see how to add in Neovisjs library, the data visualization JavaScript library. So what I first did, I followed tutorial, obviously, and I just created in the Laravel app, I created a new page because I didn't want to meddle with what we've got now in case it didn't work. So I created a new layout page, and I just added the library via CDN. I didn't even try to npm import it. I just used CDN. And everything is on that one page. I know that's not the best way of doing it. So if we can walk through what is the best way to add JavaScript libraries to Laravel, that would be good. So yeah, what I did is I added this link to the CDN to Neovisjs. Then I created a div with the ID Viz, which is where the graph would display. And then I created a function that will draw the graph, pretty much. So I think if we walk through the code, it will be better instead of me just saying it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of get the highlight. So you made a page that basically is going to display this graph.
Yeah.
You didn't import it right now, so one of the steps for us to do is to move it from CDN into. Okay.
Exactly.
Are you familiar with the phrase spike then stabilize?
No.
Okay, great. Learning opportunity for everybody. So the idea behind spiking is when you're trying to do something that you haven't done before, you don't know how to do it. And so sometimes it can be really paralyzing to try and figure out both how to do the thing and how to do the thing right all at the same time. So the idea of spiking is, and I'm sure that there's some relevance to like some physical, like putting a spike in the ground. I'm not sure. But the idea is make the thing work. Do it in the weird and wacky and weird ways because you're learning as you go. By the way, thanks for following M1DX and 69. Make the thing work first. And you're going to do it in an ugly, nasty, gross way because you're probably going to have to rewrite it 3 times as you're in the middle of doing it because you don't know quite how. And get it working. and then sit back and then take a breath and then say, okay, now how should it be? And so it's not quite the same as red, green refactor in testing in TDD, but it's got a lot of similar ideas there where it's basically build the nasty version, get it working, commit it, pause, take a breath, come back to it later now that you've learned all that, and then rework it the way you actually think it should be with your new knowledge. Not saying that once you've written it, you now know everything there is to know about architecting the thing, but it's very natural to be in that space. Thanks for following Lord Peregrine. 69, I have no idea what that says, but I hope it's very nice. So that's kind of, how I think about it.
That's how I work.
Yeah, so spike and stabilize is a very normal way to work when you're working in something that you're not familiar with. So there's nothing to be apologetic about there. All right, so let's take a look at this. So the package.lock file changed, no big deal. Package.json changed. So it actually looks
so
like...
I edited it, but then
You didn't use it.
Anyway, yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool. So one note there, it's in dependencies instead of dev dependencies. In reality, if your package.json is only going to be used by Webpack, it doesn't matter whether stuff are in dependencies or dev dependencies. So technically, it should be dev dependencies, but it's not that big of a deal. So because it doesn't make any difference. It only really makes a difference when you're talking about like front end stuff and everything like that. All right, so we've got a new view called Graph. It extends a new layout called Graph. And
I did that because in the instructions it said that we should add the draw function to the body of the page so that it loads as soon as the page loads. So that's why I did it, because I wasn't sure if I just added the draw function to a normal div if it would work the same way. So that's why I just created a new layout.
Got it. Yeah, so in general, if you need to do so, it's this thing right here, onload equals draw. So in general, what we would probably want to do is add the ability for individual templates to modify the body, so that you didn't have to basically create a new layout for every single one. Because it's like let's say you changed like a link here, and now you're gonna have to change it in all your layouts. So again, it's fine for a spike, and then we'll go back and we'll refactor it. The chat is saying tons of big products are probably still running the spike version. Yeah, and that's the thing to be careful of with spike and stabilize. Like a lot of people, it requires the discipline to care enough to go back and do it right afterwards. And it's a much better way to do it, spike and then stabilize, rather than architect and figure out and learn and only ever write something. There are some circumstances, for example, the boss says, wait a minute, it works, let's just deploy it, where, if you don't do it carefully, you can be incurring technical debt by doing it that way. But the solution there is hopefully to fix your work environment, not to never spike and stabilize. John says, remember to delete spike work and start again if you're spiking the strictest sense. Yeah, I mean, yes, in the strictest sense, you should delete the spike work and start from scratch. In reality, most of the time, it's a combination of refactoring, rewriting, modifying, and also writing over. But yeah, be careful about introducing tech debt for sure. Hi, I don't speak English well. I went in to study English in the program. Great. Well, welcome. And I talk really fast, but the good news is if it's too fast when you're watching now, you can watch it on YouTube replay later. I release all the YouTubes a couple hours afterwards, and you can slow it down there. But thank you for joining us either way. All right, so there's that. So and then we have our script in line here. So let's take a look over it real quick. So Bolt, this is our... this is the
local database, yeah. So first we have to run the local database, so it needs to be running. Then you add the URL. This is the same one. And the password. I think we used password for password, I think. And then we've got the labels. So the labels and relationships, both of them need to be there, but they don't have to have anything in it. All it says is basically person, what you're going to label the person on the graph, and what the relationship is going to say when you connect the two nodes, if it's going to say married to or not. So in the relationship, I set caption true. If I set false, there would be no label on the graph. And in the person, I set caption a name because we're calling person's name. Then the interesting thing, I know that on the labels, there are 4 properties. There's caption, size, community, and one more. But nowhere on the internet can I find what the values could be. I even asked on the Neo4j forum, and they said these are the 4 properties. But I don't know what the values are. I mean, the ones that you see there is what I got from videos. Yeah. But I don't even know. I think the community has something to do with the colors of the graph.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, when it comes to relationship, the thickness is how thick are the relationship between the two nodes, whether it's weight or count. So
I have a guess that the size and community, these are columns on the person. And so if you want different people to be different sizes, you need to add a column on person that is size, basically.
Yeah.
So in the example you were looking at, I betcha it was somebody who was building a visualization of like search results or something. Is that right?
Well, it was Game of Thrones and and the
interesting.
Russian Twitter spies. I mean, but both examples use the same thing, but nowhere did it say what these values mean or if there are different values. So I don't know. I keep looking, but there's even an issue on the Neovisjs GitHub asking where can we learn more about it. And that was like 10 months ago and nobody replied. So that's weird.
Well, we can experiment with that really quickly, and I think come up with a pretty quick solution. So, but okay, so and then you match the initial cipher.
So this initial cipher doesn't have to be there. If you don't have anything there, it will run the whole graph, which in the case of a small graph is okay, but if you have a lot of data, it's pointless. So that's why you set initial cipher what it is that you're trying to display. So what I'm displaying there is all the people and all the relationships.
Okay.
And then you just run new Neovis.default config and render it.
Did they mention anything about the weirdness of passing in usernames and passwords here? Is this just kind of because obviously anybody who sees this can now see this? Is that normal?
Yeah. Nobody said nothing anywhere.
Interesting.
No.
Okay.
I don't know, but I suppose it's a JavaScript file. So can you? I don't know, but can you then reference environmental variables from JavaScript file like you do in PHP?
You can, but not like this. If you reference the environment variable, it's eventually going to end up accessible. So, yeah, I'm curious how that. So that's an open question for us. How do we handle this authentication? Like right now, we can pull it from PHP, but it will end up being written in HTML. So I'm curious about how they expect to handle that. And then you got that. Okay, cool. So this is a really great start. So let's pull this down and do a little bit of refactoring on it. So open this in GitHub Desktop. And then let's actually open the family tree.
No, can you hear them from downstairs? Because I'm so aware
just a little bit.
Okay. So,
okay. Whoa, that was easy.
Yeah,
it was brilliant.
Okay, took me most of the day to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can drag the nodes. If you drag on the nodes, it will on the individual.
Oh my!
Isn't it cool?
Yes. Whoever suggested that we bring this in the first place, thank you, because this is awesome. Cool. So we got Cain, we got Abel, we got Adam and Eve, we've got the married to relationship. All right, let's real quick see what people are saying. Thanks for following. David approves. Dustin says might have to somehow pass the data forward as a JSON block or something. Yeah, let's just see. Let's get it working and just have the open question of authentication there. All right, so we've got this. So we're going to go to graph.blade.php. So the first thing I want to do is make it no longer extend layouts. So let's think about the things we need to do here. Sounds like it was Dustin who originally suggested it because he said, you're welcome. So for now, let's just do this. Onload equals, and what did you call it?
Draw function.
All right.
Function draw. So can this then be on any div? It doesn't have to be on body, or does it have to be on body?
Onload should be on the body, but it's curious to me that they did this because, so if you say onload is draw, you've got a draw function here.
Yeah.
I think, okay, so let me think about this for a second. So we want to pull this out to another file in a second. We won't do that yet. We want this to only happen on the body load. In the jQuery world, it's very easy. You just do this, and then basically anything within here only happens when the body loads. I think I think you can render a body onload, or sorry, I think you can bind a body onload in here, and this isn't it, but it would be something like body.onload equals draw or something like that. The problem is it's been so long since I've done that. I don't remember exactly how it works. Reading the docs, you can maybe do a secure WebSocket connection with something called Neo4j Aura. Okay. Thanks for looking that up. So let's just let's actually just do a little bit of Googling. JavaScript bind onload. I think there's a way to do it not ooh. Maybe this is it right here. I don't love the for Safari versus all these kind of things. So Window.onload happens after everything is loaded, included images, so that might be a problem, but it might also be... Wow, this is nasty. I definitely don't want to do all of this.
And also, it doesn't have to load on everybody. I mean, only on that one page.
Yeah, so when we pull it out, it will probably actually get easier to do that. But I'm just trying to see if there's a really quick, simple version of it. But I think we're just going to do window.onload for now, just to keep it simple. Let's just do that. So window.onload equals draw, and then we'll pull out. So that was the one thing that you had in graph, and then the other thing was just pulling in this CDN script, right? Cool. So let's pull in.
You already have it in the package.
Yeah, we'll work on that in just a second. All right. So for now, let's delete this because what I want to do is just take this one step at a time. It's very easy to jump ahead, but let's not jump ahead. And so let's just see if this works. Window.load runs. I wrote window.onload. Window.load runs after the. You know what else we were missing? The whole script. The whole script was at the bottom there. So let's go back and grab it out of here real quick. Let's go to the raw version of this because we're zoomed in so far. It's kind of hard to see. All right, so that right there. So we'll pull it out of the template in just a second. The PageRank community are indeed specific to the dataset Neovis is using their example. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, cool. So what I was going to do here is window.load equals draw. So we're just going to do this for right now. We'll probably get errors on the other pages, but let's just kind of get this thing functioning. All right, so yeah, it can't extend graph because graph doesn't exist anymore. So let's switch that out with app. And then, all right, so we're on the graph page.
It takes a while, by the way. It took me, I mean, the small graph should appear quickly, but in general, it takes a while for the data to
Well,
appear.
one option is to recognize that this draw might actually not be running correctly. So let's just try this. And that's the most likely scenario. So console.log running. All right, so so we're not seeing it. So let's see window.load equals, I mean, I don't think I would have to do this because there's no reason to do that. But let's just for fun, let's try that. Okay. Yeah, so this window.load thing isn't running at all. So let's go back to where we were. Yeah, it was onload. It wasn't dot. See, sometimes I just gotta trust what I'm doing. There we go. That's what it was. Okay. So I believe we can just do this, but let's try it. Yep, cool. Drummond says shouldn't be like draw parens, and the reason you don't have to do that is because really what you're passing here is a function definition. So you can either pass this function definition like this, but if you look at it, this right here and this right here are the same. This one just has a name. And assigning variables to names is actually interesting in JavaScript because you can do two things. You can either do this right here, or you can do like var draw equals function. So it's kind of weird. They're not exactly the same, but this one right here works. So good enough for now. All right, so we're back in, we're running. It's gonna throw errors on the other pages probably, but we at least are now down to a single template. So let's go over here and make that modification real quick. And let's just fix it one bit at a time. So remove the need for extra layout file. Okay. So what were we going to do next? We were going to take a look at, so what I was thinking here is, trying to remember the easiest way to get a random number within certain scopes. It's random, but then you have to pass something in to decide. Okay, between 0 and 1. Okay, cool. So random times 10. So I'm curious whether to me, this would make each of them be a little bit different size, because I'm pretty sure size just expects to get something. There's a good chance that you can't pass a number here and you have to pass in a property on the person, in which case this won't do anything. Random's not defined. Is it math.random maybe? Yeah, math.random. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. My guess is it's because this right here has to be a property on the person. And so in order to do this, we would have to do basically like an importance, and you would define how important each person is. Right now, I kind of don't think we want to use that. So it'd be nice if we could just not. So is there, in terms of color coordination, do you have any ways that you think it'd be useful to color coordinate them?
Oh, I don't, right now, I don't think so, because in all the graphs I saw, it was like data from all over the place. So they used color coding to see like this group of data belongs to this community, or, you know. But as a family tree, I mean, unless it's like a really huge family tree, when it starts going crazy, then you can select like the middle. The nuclear family can be one color, and as you extend. But this is like wishful thinking, maybe in the future, not right now. I don't think.
I can imagine it being useful where, like, if let's say we were looking at this and we were visiting it from like the Keynes family tree view, then you can say, okay, then Adam and all of Adam's family, presuming he had family, you know, which is not the case here, would be one color, and Eve and all of Eve's family would be a different color. So that makes sense. And then, you know, siblings and all that kind of stuff. But for now, let's say it doesn't make sense. Thanks for subscribing, Epic something something. It's not showing up in my stream. There you go. Epic High Fiver. Yes, I love it. Makes me think of high-fiving white guys. Okay, cool. So, all right, so we have this working. So let's go back to the refactors we're going to do. So the first thing we can do is we can figure out what our server user and name are going to be. So we have config for that. I think it's under the Neo4j connection. We've got the protocol, the host, the port, the username, and the password. So we can pull all those out and pull them into here. We could pull them all in using config variables. However, they're going to stop being useful as soon as we pull these back out, because we're going to move this thing into built JavaScript. So it's tempting to come in here and basically like do this config, you know, blah, 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 blah. But that's not going to be useful to us because we need them accessible elsewhere. So one of the nice things about the way environment things are handled in here is that anything you prefix with mix gets passed on to mix. I don't remember exactly how it works, but basically this allows you to get access to these keys in your Webpack. So let's assume that that's what we're going to do. So one of the things you can do there is go to your .env.example and also your .env, and you can basically just set up like a mix Neo4j username or something like that. Now, I guess we should really just do the exact same thing here. You'd grab basically as many of these as you want in your JavaScript, and you just prefix them all with mix. Now, once again, you all are going to see the struggle bus that I'm on with multi-select in... Hey, I finally had a functional multi-select in this. So then, instead of having to rewrite them, you would basically use this syntax right here to grab like the original version of it. So like that. Actually, hold on. Let's see if I know how to do this in Sublime Text. Let's see if I can do it in this. So what I normally do is go back here again, and I grab these things, and then I'd go forward, and then I'd go to the end and delete. All right, baby steps. And then I do this. And then here's the big kicker. Can we do this? Hey, yo, look at that. All right, so we basically made mixed versions of all these. And so if we can do this in .env.example, then we can also do this. And do we need USSSL? Let's say no. Do we need password testing? Let's say no. So we really want host, port, username, and password for now. So let's grab them. Let's throw them into our actual .env. Let's assume they're now available at this point. So now we want to close this out so we can see a little bit more. We want to pull this thing over to our mix script. So what you want to do is go to app.js, which is not the built one in public, but the original one in resources. And in here, this is where we're going to do our actual work. So the simplest thing to do is just to say, what happens when we just throw this in there? And the answer is probably not good things, but we're going to just try it out and see how it treats us. So probably not good, but what the hey. And once again, it's nice to be able to do things like do a little console log in the various places to see if we're actually running these things. Wrong. Wow, somebody's looking for a job here. The author of core.js. That is a way to do it.
I really liked it, yeah.
People have had lots of varying opinions about whether or not it's acceptable to inject stuff so that every single person now gets a sale, both to try and hire this person and to give money to their Patreon.
I mean, they've done it. This is an open source project, so at least if they're looking for a job, they should be able to say, like, people using their product.
Well, the big question is, what if every single dependency wanted to stick an ad there, and every time you run npm and run install or something like that, all of a sudden you see like 250 of those. So it's kind of like, they did the work. They should be able to advertise it, and at the same time, sliding slippery slopes or whatever. So, okay, so this didn't work. So let's see. First of all, let's see what we got here. And there's a lot of reasons. One of them is access to this, this window object may not end up being what we want. Oh, I'm not seeing my, okay. Oh, hey, there you go. That was easy. All right. That worked much faster than I expected it to. All right. So now I'm trying to remember how to get access to environment variables in Node. I think it's something like, actually, you know what? Elixir might give us easier access to it. So let's just do Laravel mix environment variables. Give me Google. There we go. Nope, same thing. Just process.env. So that's what it is. That's how you pull environment variables anywhere. So let's go like this. And then what we want to name it is one of our Neo4j ones. So mix Neo4j. I don't remember what they were. Laravel Elixir. Dustin. Yes, exactly. Process.env. Some people got really, really mad about it. It was quite comical about the ads inline. Yeah, totally. All right. So let's see if we can grab the mix Neo4j username. And let's see how that treats us. There. All right, Neo4j, we're good to go. All right, so we have access to all of those. So now in here, we can come in here and we can build our server URL based on that. We can put our user and our password in there. So this is going to be process.env.mix Neo4j username. And let's pull the rest of them .env example down here. And again, we're still to the point where I believe that anybody who inspected this file would still get that. Like once it's built, it pulls that out of the process and they'll still see our username and password. So later we would have to look into that thing called Neo4j Aura that Dustin was talking about, but I think this is good enough for now. So process.env.mix Neo4j password. And then now we have to build, I think we actually had a host port. Okay, so we're not, Bolt is going to be Bolt, so we're just looking for host and port here. So I know we could use the new ES6 concatenation thingamajig, so we'll try that in a second, but first of all, I just want to build it correctly. Process.env.mix Neo4j, and not password, but host.
Oh, host, yeah.
Yep, and then do the same thing here for port and see if it works, and then rebuild it using that backtick syntax. For looking to after the stream, been poking around the Neovis repo. The more data options branch is able to use data passed in as JSON, so it avoids the password leakage. Cool. All right, so it looks like it's working. Why are we still console logging? Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. So that's working fine. Now let's go back in here and try and remember how to build. I think it's like this. If anybody's used this, it's been a weirdly long time since I've actually used this way of working, but I kind of think that's how you do it. The braces around the environment, the variables. I'm just starting to learn Python. Before that, I knew Pascal, ABC. I'm not afraid of what you write. Is this JavaScript? Yep, we're in JavaScript right now. All right, so that didn't work. I feel like there's like a $sign in here somewhere. Does anybody remember how these work?
Yeah, in front of it, I think.
There you
just
go.
turned blue, yeah.
Zigdig says $sign in front of it. Thank you so much. Oop. Oh, that didn't work. Why was that not enough? And some of the things is anytime you're using like variable interpolation like this, sometimes they have trouble when you're getting it off of the the children of the thing, but I kind of expected this was going to work. Or sorry, when it's like nested like this, sometimes it's funky, but I kind of thought this would work. Needs a, yeah, dollar bills, too late. Good pronunciation, thanks. It's going to call you Yggdrasil. All right, uncaught module build failed. Unexpected token, expected comma, line 1412. I'm sure that is where we are. Yeah, but the problem is, good luck finding that. Where's my stack trace? Wait, why do I not have a full stack trace there? Give me back to my error. What am I missing here? I don't know if this is a parsable stack trace. This is, I don't know why I'm getting it like this rather than actually getting like my correct moment in the thing, because all I'm getting here is just the module build fill error. It's probably because it's like a compile error rather than an actual inline error, because it's the parser that's throwing the error. But my lack of knowledge of how Webpack spits out errors is definitely being shown right now. So like this right here, what on earth is going here? I have no idea. I can see that these are braces and everything, but because you're seeing caption and thickness online there. Why? Wait, was it literally just that missing comma there? What made that comma go away? When did that comma disappear? I accidentally deleted. Wow, I just accidentally deleted this whole line right here a while ago. Oh, because I was multi-selected. Oh, awesome. There's a whole big thing that I accidentally deleted because I was accidentally double selected because I'm still getting used to my new IDE. I bet you money that somebody is going to catch that rewatching it on YouTube later or something like that. Okay, cool.
And
we're back
like
in.
Shouting at the screen.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's always how it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, where were you in the chat during that whole time? Person shouting at the screen in YouTube right now. Okay, cool. So, all right. So we're back here. So we have this thing functioning. All right. So are there any other refactors we want to do on this before we, we're pulling it from there. Oh yeah. So it's still running on every page, right? So let's go see if we get an error on the other pages saying Viz doesn't exist. Yep. Okay. So what we want to do is only run that on those pages. What's the error here? Oh, that's okay. TLint doesn't like no spaces around your concatenators. All right. So let's see if it still functions without that. Neovis is not defined, so we probably need to import it in. All right. So that's resources app.js. I'm going to be honest with y'all. The correct syntax to import things like that is always painful for me. Like this right here. I know that I want to... Okay, so import Neovis from whatever it is in package.json. So let's go to package.json, and it is Neovis.js. So let's just try this and see if this is enough. Uncaught reference error, Neovis is not defined. Oh, wait. Now there's a Neovis Webpack importer module default is not a constructor. So the Neovis that we have here is not the same Neovis, not the exact same shape of Neovis that we had from the CDN. Let's just do, can we do this? Default is not a function. So again, like I am an old school JavaScript developer and I've been writing JavaScript from ages, but when it comes to these sorts of things, I'm just kind of like, you know, poke it until something makes sense. So if anybody here is like looking at it being like, obviously this is the way to do it, let me know. So basically, we have imported it correctly. Like, we do have Neovis here. However, in your example here, you are newing it up, and that is not what we're doing here. It's not the same thing. So what we got to figure out is why. It's obviously intended to be used this way. So let's see. If they have any examples of what it would look like. Import Neovis from, okay, so this is exactly what I did. It require you to have a way to import CSS files. Okay. Are you going to show me how to import those CSS files or what?
I've been over this repo so many times today.
Yeah.
Nope.
And so interestingly, there's nothing here suggesting, hey, when you import it as a module, you now need to new it up differently. But obviously you need to because of that error. Let's go look at the error again. What was our error? Neovis, blah, 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 that default is not a constructor. So you can see that we're newing it up here and we're passing it up here. So I tried this and this also didn't work. Because what I was thinking is maybe we already have a constructed instance of it here. But it said default isn't even a function on that. So what is it? It's got a render method. Man, I'm a little bit outside of my I'm above my pay grade here. It's got a render method like we're looking for, which is what I expected. When you have a functioning instance of Neovis, then you've got render here. The problem is, how do we pass in the config to something? This is okay, so we want it. Let's try this. Because the config is expecting to be passed into its constructor. That's what it was. It's Neovis, not Neovis. Oh, yeah? I don't know why I typed it like that. Thanks, L Pixoto 2000. Yeah, you are 100% right. But yeah, so that was the fix. Is when you're importing it like this, you already have the class, and so you don't need to do .default. So, all right, so we're back. Will it make any difference if you import Neovis from Neovis? Well, it looks like we're good again. So we are no longer.
That's all it was.
What's that? That's all it was. Yeah. So and that's relatively unsurprising that the shape of that was a little bit different. So okay. So what did we change here? Oh, you know what? So how are we getting all these CSS files? Because it said you need the ability to pull in CSS files, but we're obviously getting. I mean, this looks right. And we're not pulling from the CDN anymore. Man, I don't know, but I will take it. Yeah, I think so. Dustin, that's probably what it is. That's actually definitely what it is. Good thinking. Okay, cool. Well, it's functioning, so let's call that a win. Oh, so we have all of these vendor images that were published here, and somehow it's doing all the math for us to handle them being connected in without us having done anything. I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take it as a win, and I'm gonna I'm gonna do a little happy dance and call it a day. So, okay. So what do? We should put these notes in Notion as well. Move Neovis draw into Webpack built app.js and adjust it to use end vars. Okay, cool. So we probably will have to do one more thing, which is make it not throw errors on the other pages where they can't find that. My guess is this has child nodes of null is looking for the viz container ID. So again, in the jQuery world, what you would do is basically just say, if viz exists, run this, otherwise skip it out. So let's just try this real quick and say, how easy would it be for us to bind it so that this only happens if that things exist. So what you want to do is basically in JavaScript, you want to say JavaScript find if div element exists. And you're basically going to look for the document.get blah, 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 dot length. Yeah, here you go. And so you can, so the simplest thing we can do for today right now is just going to be this. Get element.id is going to return null or something like that if it doesn't exist. And so we can just skip out like that. And that's the simplest way of doing it. Obviously, that's not long-term sustainable if we're going to want to put other things in here, but it probably will give us enough right now. Nope. But remember, this is returned outside of function. Oh, really? Okay, well, this is not my... well, here's one way to do it. I don't know if I like it. We could wrap the whole thing in this, but I don't love like massive things like that, so we could just do this right now. And so this draw thing is being defined, but it's not actually getting bound to anything unless we have this viz object. So we got nothing running here, but then on this page, it's still functioning. Okay, cool. So let's see what we did here. We say only load Neovis script if viz objective exists. Okay. So I don't know if it's going to let me push. Do I have the ability to push up to your branch? I guess I do. So what did we do today? We reviewed Zuzana's. Wow, typing's hard. Zuzana's PR for Neovis. We refactored Neo. Oh, someone said there's no capital V. Thank you, whoever it was that said that. Viz PR to use Webpack build and env vars. And let's take a quick peek at this. And if it works, then we'll spend the last 15 minutes trying to get back to fixing that die and dump that I just left sitting there last time. All right, so let's do a quick review on this again. All right, pulled these in here. Yep. Fixed a TLint issue. Yep. Added a whole bunch of graphics that just got published magically because I friggin' love modern web development sometimes, and I don't even have to think about how that happened. Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. And then we moved all this code into here. Yep. No to-dos left in there. Nope. Looks good enough for now. Yep. Graph. Cool. And then let's add an end line there just so we don't have that. So let's go to routesweb.php, give it a new line, and then what's the definition? Oh, TLint doesn't like the fact that it's starting with a slash, so we pull that out. And you know what? If you're doing this right here, if you have any closures in your route definitions, you can't use route caching, but because it's just a view, you can say route view graph and then just pass the view name, which here is graph. Okay. And then you're good to go. And now this is route cacheable. What do we see? Until it doesn't work anymore. Until what doesn't work anymore? The same thing here. We got route, get slash, and then we can just make that a view. Welcome. All right, cool. So what do we just do right there? We rework route definitions to use route view. Push it up, and then I think we're good to go on that. The thing that magically works, you just ignore it. Which thing just magically? I'm sure like 20 things just magically worked. Oh, you mean publishing the images? Yeah, totally. I'm sure that'll bite me like 100 times later, always. Exactly. Yeah, you were 100% right. All right, cool. Zuzana, does this feel good for you to merge?
Yes, it does. You're gonna do it?
Fantastic. Oh, sorry, I did it. Yeah.
I never merge anything.
Oh, I wish I could unmerge it. Next time, I will let you merge it.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's even on your repo under your namespace, and I didn't let you merge it. I apologize. All right, so what process, let's see. So what's the next thing here? We said allow for creating people in the UI, finish fleshing out the ability to show all relationships in the people show page. So I think allow for creating people in the UI is the thing that where we had started making it there, but we weren't quite there yet last time. Is that what it was?
I think so. If you click on Adam now, it will just take you to the...
Oh, so this was the showing people thing.
Yeah.
And I think right the last second we figured out how to show people where we actually get values from them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Although this is not very useful. Let's see what we have here. All right, so we have Adam as a person. Okay, cool. So we have Adam as a person, and now we want to get Adam's relationships, I think is what we were trying to show there. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Person controller or people controller? People controller. Okay. There's that dine dump right there. All right, right here. Cool.
So it's the one, the DD person.
Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay, so match person for eloquent ID of 1, return P. Great. First record. So now to do find all relationships to person. So my guess is that what we're going to do is modify that Cypher query to not just match that person, but also to match all the, one person away relationships from them. And so we need both married to and child of, but I think there was a way in Keith's talk to just get all relationships regardless. Do you know that off the top of your head?
No, but I think I had some notes for last time. Hold on.
All right, let's see if I can pull up Neo4j desktop browser and see if we have any. Ooh, errors everywhere. And see if we have any in our history of things where we're matching not just the person, but also their relationships within a certain distance. It's certainly a very easy thing to do in the Neo4j world, but as people who don't
isn't it what I did in the Neovisjs, one of the Cypher queries?
Oh, yeah, let's go look at that.
Like this, display everyone and all the relationships. So if you just display that person and all the relationships, it would. So instead of match n, so this match n return n is match everyone return everyone. So instead of match n, we would say match person whoever, Adam. But then how do you say who's the person to match? How do you get the PHP variables into Cypher?
Well, we've already got the PHP variable in Cypher on that people controller thing where you can see we literally just passed it in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, but interestingly, why is it not resources app.js? Okay, right here. So match P equals blah, 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 married to blah, 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 match N. Okay. You know what?
These two separate queries, so I just added them together. That was one of the things I was struggling because I kept adding end to it, but it doesn't want any end. It's just two queries with no end in between. So just match one thing and match another thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I think I'm just not familiar with this idea of so this has the P on the outside and then empty parens in here, and I think I'm just out of my depth here. Do you, if I were to just tell you to start telling me what to type, would you have an idea, or should we go try and look for some examples?
Probably look for examples. I know I got it from some place, but I probably got it from the docs, to be honest. I wouldn't just make it up.
Yeah. I remember that one of these had something about that, but if we can't find that, I also remember that Keith's talk had specifics about this exact idea, like match this one person in all relationships within a certain distance.
This is exactly what I was looking for today. Hold on.
So let's look at this right here and see how this treats us. Match EE person knows friends, where EE.name is Emil. Return EE in friends. Let's just try that and see what we get. Okay. There should be nothing because we don't have any no's, right? So now let's try married to and see if we get anything. Hopefully we get Adam and Eve. Okay, cool. Yeah. So now what happens if we do that? Instead of married to, we just say all relationships. Will that still work? Okay. So I'm wondering if we can just do this and rebuild this query over here to be like that. So what would it be? It would be match
P for person.
Yep, P instead of EE. And
then the eloquent ID.
And then where this equals and then return P and friends. Okay, that right there might be enough, honestly. I'll let you take a look at that before I try and run it, though.
But your P dot name fetch the ID, is the name Adam and ID is 1 or
yep,
2?
You're right. It'd be p.id instead of p.name. Okay, let's just see what we get there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get 2 entries. There is no record. Wait, what does that even mean? Oh, it's saying we're not getting anything else back. All right. Do you remember what there was last time? Was that like records or something?
Get records. Oh,
Get records?
Yeah, it's late now, you know.
All right, so this is saying they're not matching anything. Oh. So let's see what we're actually getting here. Maybe I'm generating it wrong. Friends is basically equivalent to this right here. It's the variable assigned to the result. All right, match p person to friends where p.id equals 1, return p friends. All right, so is ID wrong? I think it might be eloquent. Yep, that's what it is. It's eloquent ID.
It was eloquent ID because you used the eloquent ID.
Yeah. So eloquent ID. Heyo.
There you go.
All right, so we've got 2 keys and 2 values. Key 1 is p, key 2 is friends. Key 1 should be Adam, and friends should be an array that contains Eve, I hope. Oh, no, it's not an array. It's just a single node. How would it handle this if there's more than one friend, though? That's weird to me. So what I would like to do is update our seed to make Cain and Abel be at least Adam's sons, so we can figure out why that's not working the way we're expecting. Also, by the way, R1SSS and Drummond, I'm not sure what y'all are talking about there with app session class and realition and stuff, so I was just kind of not looking at those because I didn't know what y'all were talking about. Okay, where were our seeders? Did I make a seed? I think I might have made it like seed some data.
Yeah,
all right, cool. So what we wanted to do was this right here. Nope, just kidding. All right, so we need to also pick up Cain and Abel. All right, so let's do Cain person is the person with the name of Cain, and then Abel person is the name of Abel. And then Eve married to Adam, and then what was our other one? Was it child of?
Child of.
So then we're gonna do Cain twice, and then we're gonna do Abel twice, and then these are all gonna be child of, and then 2 Adams, and then 2 Eves. All right. This is some wild syntax. Yeah, this is Cypher. Loading the... Okay, indeed, that was the wrong page. Ignore it. Okay, cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for handling stuff. So I think we need to seed some data fresh. I think this one truncates already. Yep, truncates. So
yes.
I think I should be able to just do...
sometimes when you type, it's like when you watch videos on 1x speed. This is how I feel when I watch you type. It just jumps with all your shortcuts.
Oh, yeah. I'm cheating with shortcuts. And for anyone who doesn't know, I use text expander. So, for example, anytime you see me type a semicolon, I'm about to type a shortcut. So, semicolon ART gives me PHP artisan faster. So, all right. So, let's see what we got here. So, hopefully, our first record is still Adam, and we should just get... Wait. Oh, no. Hold on. What am I doing here? We have 2 records, one with P... Wait, I'm confused. Do we get Adam twice in here? Yeah, we do. So that's not exactly the shape I expected. So we basically get 2 records, one with Adam and probably Eve. And then, wait, so we got Adam with Cain. We've got Adam with probably Abel, but what about Adam and Eve? Wait, so we have...
that's Eve.
But where's Abel, though? Why did Abel not get pulled in here? Because shouldn't Abel also have a relationship with Adam of child of, like this, like Cain does here? It's also interesting to me that we don't get the definition of what their relationship is here. You see that? So it almost feels like you need to like pull in spouse and children of, which makes sense, I guess. But it kind of would be nice if in this node it was telling us this person is related to your original person, is a member of friends because of, this particular reason. But the weirdest thing is, why is Abel not in here? It sees too much. It knows that it sees the future of Cain and Abel. Oh, that is weird. Maybe I typed it wrong. All right. Cain, child of Adam. Yep, that's what it is. Look, I made Cain the child of Adam twice and then Abel the child of Eve twice, rather than Adam, Eve, Adam, Eve.
Oh.
Okay, so we should now have 3 record views. That's really weird that all 3 of them have Adam and then all 3 of them have a single, rather than having one record view that has 3 entities under the second one, which makes me think that this might not be the correct query, but at least we have the data. So if somebody knows Cypher really well, wants to tell us that we're doing this query wrong, here's the query right here. And what we would really like is, rather than pfriend, 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 it'd be nice to have p and then array of friends. So that's no fun. But let's just say, so this is not person anymore, right? This is, I see the app session class that you're asking about now, R1SSS things. So this is going to be result equals this, and then person is going to be result. And now let's look what it looks like for us to pull out. So it's going to be the first element of here. So reset result, and this is actually not going to be person because we have to. So the first is going to be the reset result.
What does reset do?
Reset gives you the first item off of an array. Although, you know what? I think we could actually use, I think there's an array first that you can call things on. One of the problems with the reset is that you can't call things on it. So you have to set it to a variable and then work on it. I think array first allows you to skip that. So let's just take a look at that real quick. I think we can do that. Yeah. And so what we want is, again, there's got to be a simpler syntax for this. And again, if we weren't doing Cypher directly, but we were working with like a more PHP oriented way of doing it, I bet you we would have a really way to do this. But the simplest way for me is to say, you could just say, give me the first value. Or you can say, find me which key associates with P, which is a person, and then look up that value. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So we want to find basically the person key equals, and it was array search, I think, the needle haystack. So that would be P in first keys. And then let's see what person key should be 0, hopefully. Cannot access. Okay, so it must be like a get keys or something. Oh, come on. Don't make me do this. Okay, cool. 0, perfect. So we now know what the key is for person key. And so that means friend key equals array search friends first keys. And that should be 1. Great. So now we can say person, and this is super janky. This is not the way we want to do it in the end. But in the end, we'll either be using something super useful, or we will extract this away on our own. But I think we're gonna basically, by building it the way Keith did with the whole like PHP classes to represent relationships and stuff, we will end up not having to build this on our own. But we're not there yet. Oh my gosh, this microphone is killing me. All right, person equals. All right, so we got our first one. And then we've got our values. And then it'd be really cool if we could just pass in the key here. And they built it that way. Let's see if that's possible. Well, that did not work the way I was expecting. Okay, so you can't pass in a key. So you basically would have to do this. And then labels still, jeez, it's forever to get something to work with here. We got a note here. Sorry to distract you as a child. You are not a child. Can I add you as a friend? No, but you are welcome to answer any questions you want here. You can also hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/Stauffer, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions there. There's also a really helpful community at the Laravel Discord. So you just go to laravel.com. You will find Discord somewhere. I think Discord or chat or something like that. Does anyone know where that link is? It always takes me a while to find it. Oh, it's right here. Click on this thing and you can join the Laravel Discord, and there's a ton of really helpful people there. Okay, cool. So we have a node representing our person, and it's assigned to the person variable. It took a lot of work to get there, and it's actually going to take more work to get all the friends. So I really don't think that this is going to be the final result. So once again, let's just do, because we're almost out of time. We're actually out of time. So let's do the non-collection way to build this, and then we'll come up with the collection way to build this in a second. So friends equals this. So then you'd say for each of the result as, I don't even know. This should actually be, let's do results as result. And then we want to pull friend equals result values friend key. And then relationships then now can be friends.
You need to change the for each result as a result. You have result as a result.
Thanks. Yeah. So we should have now 3 friends in here, and they will be Eve, Cain, and Abel, although I guess it's alphabetized. Cool. So in theory, we've got a node for person, and we've got a node for the friends. And this right here could be, let's see, how would you collectivify this? Oops. I think that's going to be the same thing. All right, and then we get into our actual view, which is people show blade.php, and then we did a die and dump somewhere in here. Yep, right here, die and dump relationship. So for each person in a relationship, we also want to be able to pull out something on them. So what do we have in them? We have properties, name. So what happens if we just try name? Great. So we have all the people. We don't yet have the ability to actually figure out what their relationship is, like we were noticing before. So that's a big issue figure out how to show how they are related. But we at least now have Adam. Oops, let's do that. Abel, Cain, Eve. Cool. So we've got the person Adam, and then we've got all of their related people. Boom. Nice work. It's ugly. It's not how it will be in the end. This is
what you would call spiking.
This is a spike. This is embarrassing code that you never want to put in the internet, let alone write up, put up videos on YouTube of you writing. But it functions, and so then what we do from there is say, okay, this is obviously not how it's supposed to be. Let's figure it out there. Draman says for each results. My guess is that you're a little bit behind, and you didn't see when she caught me on that Draman. That's my guess. John Sugar, done, ship it. Exactly. So this right here is just so janky. This is obviously not how it should be. And my guess is not only are we going to write our own abstractions on top of this, but I bet that the SDK that we're using also has tooling to make some of this a lot easier. If we hadn't been in rush mode right at the end here, because we're 5 minutes late already, we would have gone look at that. So that's what we need to put on our to-do for next time. So, oh man. Update Cypher on the people show page to pull in relationships, and things to do later. Refactor people show page, preferably using any features already existing in the SDK, and then show relationship types on the relationships on the people show page. Zuzana, are there other to-dos that we just said we were going to do?
Well, from what you were supposed to do today, or what you wanted to do today, was allow for creating people in the UI. Mm-hmm. But yeah. But
on this page, do you remember anything else that you wanted to have? I think this was like a little bit more proof of concept, maybe.
Yeah, and for now, I think let's just figure out how it all works. And I don't know if that's the way to do it, but I'd rather have it ugly but working rather than adding features on top of what on top of it when we still don't know how to do stuff.
Oh, also, I guess we need to learn how to do inferred relationships. Figure out inferred relationships, e.g., Cain and Abel are siblings, but we don't know that right now because and that's going to be not just doing it, but figuring out how we're supposed to do it. Because remember we talked last time about should we add a direct thing to kind of like represent that inferred relationship, even though we can already figure it out because they both have the same parents. Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. Okay, cool. Is there anything else you want to say? I know that I was pretty blabby on this one. You did the work ahead of time, and then I just kind of blabbed around it. But is there anything else you want to say about it?
I like it this way.
Okay,
I can
cool.
do it in private and all the stressing out and not knowing what to do. I do it by myself, and then I watch you do it live.
There you go.
Perfect.
And I write the bad code live, and then, yeah, cool. All right, well, let's commit this and then call it a day. So what do we do here? We seed some more relationships, and then update people.show to poll relationships. Oh, no. Undo. Crap, because we don't want to be on this branch anymore. All right. The number of times I have looked this up, you would have thought I would make a really clever shortcut here. Yeah, good point, John. You see? It's get reset head something till... Oh, I don't care about Cyber Monday. Oh my goodness. There we go. Reset soft so it doesn't delete the files. And then head tilde 1, which is 1 away from head. Okay, cool. We don't want to be in ZK Neo4 Neovis because we merged that one. So we want to check out MES something. We want to stash our work. We want to pull the latest. We want to apply our stash. Oop, get stash apply. And then now we want to do that exact same commit on the correct branch, which was add some relationship seeds, add pull relationships in people.show. Commit to the correct branch, push up. Great. And then, yep, thanks, Dustin. And then note to also in the future, remove password, Neo4j password from Neovis somehow. Cool. All right, Zuzana, thank you so much for your work on this and for co-hosting and for the app ID in the first place. Chat, thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you for doing the work.
Yeah, well, a little bit of it, but I'm the keyboard. You're the driver. So, anything else you want to say before we cut for today?
No, thank you for watching, and thank you to you for doing it. And yeah, this is so exhausting. Paying attention for an hour. I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy out of you.
Doing the work.
Yeah. Keeping track of this account, do you know of any Laravel dev channels on Twitch? I'm sure there are other Laravel people who do Twitch streaming. One of them is my co-host. What's the URL again? Twitch.tv/Zuzana.
Zuzana-K, I think.
-K?
Was it this one? No, just K, yeah.
Kunckova. See, I know how to say it now.
No, not the full name, because I don't want to make people spell my surname.
Oh, it's underscore.
Maybe underscore K, yeah.
All right, so go check out twitch.tv/Zuzana_K, and you can see her there. There are a few other people that are doing it, so I will try and maybe make a list somewhere. I'm not a big Twitch person, so I don't know exactly how to do that, to be honest. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out, and see you all on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern.